Hey everyone, it's Milo here for the Fellowship of Acoustics and welcome to a new episode of New Arrivals. I'm back. I went to France for 2 weeks, drank a lot of white wine and now I've got my mind set on the new guitars that came in. Last week Michael presented and he also presented a Hummingbird, which was your favorite, as you all commented and voted on the poll. So today we're going through these racks again. They are filled beautifully with guitars, which is really nice, a nice sight. And then it's up to you to pick your favorite of the week. So there will be a poll in the community side of our YouTube page and you can also leave a comment down below. So I think let's just dive in right away. And we're going to start with these new Gibsons. Because these are all new releases. They will have been released this week. If you're watching this on Friday, on Wednesday they have been released. So let's open all of these cases just to have a look at them. I'm going to start with a new J45 model because this is a 1955 J45. That looks really vintage. So they call this a light aged. Most of these are light aged, and I think that's a really pretty aging that they do right now. It's quite subtle, but really realistic. Also the aging here around the sound hole. This is really similar to a lot of vintage J45s that we've seen. It's not over the top or anything. This is an aging I can live with. I'm not the biggest fan of aging on acoustic guitars, as a lot of you out there are also, as I can see in the comments. But I think this looks really beautiful. So the 55 J45. Let's go to this. This is a SJ200. So look at this beauty. This is a SJ200 with the rosewood back and sides, which in my opinion is the best SJ200. Another beautiful, light, aged, incredible. So Michael also chose a 57 SJ200, maybe last week or the week before that. Also a new Gibson. Some of you thought it was a real vintage 57, if only. But this is a looker as well. Let's move on. Ooh, this is a 63 Dove. Also two models, the Dove and the SJ200, also two models that are available in the Epiphone, inspired by Gibson custom lineup. Another beautiful natural Dove, square shoulder, maple back and sides. I really like the aging on these. Looks really pretty. Another SJ200, this time it's a natural with maple back and sides. Natural finish, really cool. Ever since I saw Noel Gallagher play live in August, I'm really wanting a SJ200 right now. And the last one, this is a Nick Lucas. Ooh, that is a cool finish. I believe we call this Argentine Gray. Wow, that pairs so nicely with the gold inlays here, the sparkle gold. The Nick Lucas is a small-bodied, sort of L00 size guitar. When you look at it this way, but it's really thick, so it's a really deep body, so it carries a lot of weight and bass end as well, which is a favorite among a lot of blues guitars as well, that want to have a smaller sized acoustic but with some extra bass end. This looks incredible, the Argentine Gray with the gold. A beautiful picture of Nick Lucas on the inside. I don't know if you can catch this. What a legend. If you are subscribed to our newsletter, you will have seen these guitars on Thursday instead of Friday, because if you are subscribed to the newsletter, you will get the New Arrivals episode 1 day earlier. So if you're interested in one of these guitars, then you will have a advantage above everyone else. But I really enjoy the look of this one, so I really want to see how this sounds, and maybe this will be my first choice if it sounds good. This sounds really nice to my ears. It has a nice bass end, not too much. Of course, it is still a small body, it is a small top, but it sounds really full. It's got a beautiful, nice and warm lower mid-range. And it sounds open and sparkly as well, in all the best ways. So this is really a premium guitar. It's got a premium price tag as well, which you should keep in mind. But the sound, together with the looks of this one, with the gold sparkle, which is so cool. This will be my first choice. So the new batch by Gibson is the Nick Lucas, the light aged. Kom eens hier. Kom eens. Kom eens goed zo. Anything to say, Bill? He's not in the mood today. But maybe we will let him pick a guitar later on this episode. Let's see, we have a really nice Santa Cruz by the looks of it. This is a Santa Cruz FTC. All right. Have a look at this. A FTC, which I believe stands for Flat Top Cutaway. Look at these inlays. Really unique. I've never seen those. What are these inlays?
I don't know.
Could be a hand with a middle finger. If there are any people from Santa Cruz Guitar Company watching, maybe you can enlighten us and tell us what these inlays are. They look really nice, really beautiful. Alright, so this FTC model has a flat top with a cutaway, and it has a carved back, which is flamed maple. Maybe you can see the carve when I hold it like this. You can see it here as well. It's really prominent there. So the carved flamed maple back, and the top is made of German spruce. So this is a classic Santa Cruz design. They made it in the 80s as well. They also made one for Eric Clapton. So that's why this model is quite famous. Then they did a revamp later, maybe 2015 or something, and now it's part of their catalog. One of the most premium Santa Cruz guitars. It's got a really balanced sound. I think it's really peculiar with maple back and sides on an acoustic. Sometimes it hits just right, and sometimes it can be a little bit too hi-fi sounding for me. So this is not really my acoustic guitar, but it's a beautifully built guitar. It feels really premium, really easy to play, and it's just, look at that. A carved back on such an acoustic, it's really nice to see. Laura wanted me to open this one. A banana yellow Carlton case. Normally if you want to buy a Carlton case, you get a really expensive guitar with it as well. But now you have the opportunity to just buy the case. Because if you own a pickup truck and you go crossing through the country and you also want to grab your guitar, you can just ride over it, right, Laura?
Yeah.
Have a look at this. For my second choice, we're going to do a matchup between two similarly priced vintage 12-string guitars. One of them was already showcased last week. It's the Martin D12-28 from 1972. There we go. Really nice. 72 is actually the second year of production for these D12-28s. The 28s, of course, with rosewood back inside, so it's just a D28 with 12 strings, so there's some extra heavy bracing on the top to compensate for the extra strings. And they also made other versions of these as well, a D12-18, for example. Really nice vintage 12 strings. And then we also have a Larrivée from 1996. This is a J45 12 string. I was expecting a different model when reading J45, but maybe J45 means something different in Canada than it does elsewhere. So this is a really beautiful jumbo, hence the J, Larrivée from 1996. A great year, to be honest. Look at that beautiful inlay on the headstock. So we'll be back next week after I've tuned these guitars, and then we can do a comparison. See you then. Oh. Laura, do you have a favorite between the two?
I think the Larrivée.
The Larrivée, okay. This one was actually my favorite of the two. Had a little bit less bass end, which I like because a 12 string is already so full sounding. There's already a lot of sound, a lot of strings going on. So if there's a little bit less bass, I think you can fit it in better in the mix. But maybe this is a point where we can ask our favorite colleague, Bill. Bill, je moet even kiezen. Kom maar.
Oh, hij vindt nog leuk aan.
Ja. Getting ready. A pre-choose stretch. Bill. I think Wessel is our second choice for this new arrivals. But he's definitely not a new arrival. That's clear. Laura, sorry. It's clear. D12-28, let's go! Here we have a Collings. This is a B stock actually, so a little bit cheaper than a new one, but still quite expensive, but a really beautiful I-35 LC. One of our favorite models by Collings. In a nice vintage sunburst. So I always say slightly smaller than a ES335. Really nice crackling in the lacquer on the top. Some weather checking, quite subtle. Just beautifully made. These sound really good. I don't know what the humbuckers are on this. Are these the throwbacks? Maybe not, but we will find it out and you will see it on the website. But just know there's a beautiful I-35 coming in. Then we're going to do some vintage Gibsons, because we have a few. One from 1938 and one from 1940, if I'm not mistaken. 49 actually. I'm going to start with this one. This is a beautiful archtop from 1949, a ES125. Check that out. Flat wound strings on them right now. So this is a entry-level archtop at the time. To my knowledge, 1949 should have been the last year that there were non-adjustable pole pieces on the P90, but this one does have adjustable pole pieces. So we'll dive into that, but then again, it's really difficult to find this information online because they experimented. It's not on the 1st of January they changed their design. So you always get some overlap. Let's see how they sound acoustically. really loud acoustically. It's a beautiful sound. You could also mic this and not use an amp at all. Beautiful ES125. They made a lot of these, so we see a lot of these as well coming in, and we're always really happy about it, especially Berend. Then, a guitar that we don't see a lot. This is a L37 from 1938. Another archtop, fully acoustic archtop, small bodied, pre-war. Looks really nice actually. So we have a maple back and sides on this one with a spruce top. Reminds me of Epiphone acoustics. We've seen more of those actually. I think maybe the similar model by Epiphone would be the Zenith or maybe the Olympic. These can be really special guitars. One of my favorite guitarists, Dave Rawlings, plays a Epiphone, which looks quite similar to this one. And he has such a beautiful acoustic guitar tone. So let's check out how this sounds. This has got a beautiful, beautiful sound. It's quite a deep voice for a archtop guitar, which normally sounds a bit more thin and maybe more focused. I actually prefer the sound of this one above the ES125. This is a really beautiful. It's got some of the Dave Rawlings sound to my ears. But then I also spotted another 40s acoustic, which we're also going to compare with this, because this is a Martin D12-28 from 1940. Another small body. This time it's not an archtop, but a full mahogany body, a D12-28 from 1940. I believe this might have been one of the first years that the style 15 would have been completely mahogany, as the standard guitars came. This one has seen some wear, some work on it as well. Spotted over here, but that's what you get. And these mahogany, full body mahogany guitars always look a little bit more rough than some of the others, other vintage guitars. I don't know what it is with the full mahogany, but it looks like it's been through a storm. I think this will be my third choice. It's my favorite of the three, with this L37 coming in as a close second. This is just only beautiful, warm mid-range. I'm sure this will sound beautiful through a microphone as well. Also from 1940, which is just really cool to see. So this D12-28 from 1940 is my third choice for this new Raffles. Something for the bass guitarists out there. A really popular band today is Khruangbin, and this is a signature for their bass player Laura Lee. A really nice jazz bass with flat wounds on it. So Fender has released some of the Khwangbin signatures, because I think there's also a signature Strat for their guitarist who is called Mark Spear, maybe? Correct me if I'm wrong. They do mostly instrumental music, really focused on spring reverb, reverby guitars with a nice and punchy bass line. And she plays a jazz bass. It's got some pretty weird controls. Don't know what these do exactly, but we will find out. Covers on it like her bass has as well. And then I saved the best for last. Check out this beaten up case. What we have here is a Les Paul from 1952. A 52 gold top. Incredible to see this in the flesh. The first year that the gold tops were made. So one of the first unique electric guitar designs after the Nocaster and the Telecaster, the beautiful Les Paul Gold Top. What's typical for 52 is that you have this trapeze tailpiece, where the strings go under the tailpiece. There were some complaints at the time about this because it didn't give you the opportunity to palm mute. In 53 they changed to a wraparound bridge. They actually did this with the strings going under the trapeze because the neck angle wasn't great enough. So they increased the neck angle later, and then they also had the opportunity to have the strings go over the tailpiece. So as far as we know, we checked it out, this is pretty much fully original, except for a few things. There isn't the original knob on here, the button, and then there are new tuners, but the original tuners are in the case. You can see them right here. There you go. What's always a great sight is the weather checking on these old gold tops. You can see the crackling in the finish, and then it turns green because the gold finish oxidizes. And that's just a really, really cool look. And they also try to feature this on their new aged gold top finishes. But seeing this in the flesh is just incredible. This has to be my fourth and final choice. So we're going to plug it in and see how she sounds. Alright, that was it for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave a comment down below which was your favorite of the week, and also vote in the poll on the community side of our YouTube page. Then I wanted to mention again that you can subscribe to our newsletter and see the new Arrivals episodes one day ahead of the rest. So please do that if you're interested. And then on September 21st, on the Sunday, we have a Fellows Fest, it's actually called. A festival here at the Fellowship of Acoustics. We have some music, there will be food, there will be a market with clothing as well. There will be workshops as well. So please come by if that's a possibility for you. Hope to see you there. And otherwise, we will see you next week for a new episode of New Arrivals. Bye bye.